Oh, hey guys, didn't see you there. When did you guys sneak in? Welcome back to American Nostalgia Garage. I'm Steve. Well, today we're cracking on with our K5 Blazer build-up. That thing needs an engine. If you watched the last video, hopefully you do. If you didn't, go back and watch it. If you didn't, that thing has some junk engine underneath the hood and it's got to go. We got a 6-liter LS block, LQ4, that's got to go in there. I got to dig it out of the shed and we're going to tear it apart, inspect it, see what parts we need, get some stuff on order. I don't know if we're going to need to bring it to the machine shop or not. And then we're going to get it ready, throw it back in that truck. So let's get started. This is what you get when you have 10 car projects at the same time. We got a transmission here. This is a drive shaft just hanging out there. Now, I put all these parts here, so I knew they were there, but I'm very bad at putting things back and cleaning. Not my strong suit. FedEx guy just pulled up. Inevitably, that's going to be more car parts. At this point in my life, you guys have seen my little boy on the channel. When a delivery comes in, it's basically car parts or Hot Wheels for my son. And my wife does that right too. So everybody's making out here in this house. Anyway, I actually already pulled this thing to the front because I anticipated having to do this. I don't know if you can see how far back you can see there, but I've got fenders, there's a trunk lid. I got a floor to this Camaro over here, which we're going to get to on the channel soon. I got all sorts of sheet metal, and there's another LQ4 right back there. I'm preliminarily, is that a word? Choosing this 6-liter because it is a later model. 6-liter has the aluminum heads. That one has iron heads. I don't know, that's like a very specific thing. So we're going to probably tear this one apart. This shed here has been here for like 20 years and it's leaking, so there's a lot of water, possibly water intrusion. I'll show you. But let me get it out of here, try to get it out in the light, and we'll take a look. Just lift with your back. Just disregard your legs entirely. They're just getting in your way. And then when you blow out a vertebrae, you just fall down and just stay there until somebody comes and finds you. Hopefully. What's even worse is one of my good buddies offered me to help me move this thing. Of course I declined. What kind of man would I be if I didn't struggle with this myself for 2 hours? When I could have just got it done in 20 minutes without having to get a couple of future back surgeries. All right, we got her out. Disregard that I'm out of breath. If you've watched the channel before, you already know I'm out of breath most of the time. I could honestly get out of breath just organizing my wrench drawer. And with my kid around, there's only 4 wrenches left in there because all the rest of them are just thrown around, scattered around the garage. Some of them are in my bathroom in the house. Anyway, here she is. Here she is. Anyway, here she is. I'm not sure where the sand came from. My garage, or my shed that's over there. It's not a beachfront location, so not entirely sure where that came from. You can see this thing is seen better days. Look down in there. There's sand all the way down to the valve, sitting on top of the valve. This one's just a lot of water intrusion. If you could see down there. Oh boy. This one too. A lot of water intrusion. Let's see. Yep, water. 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 This one's open, so the water's probably in the cylinder. I'm going to go ahead and say, spoiler alert, we are not using these heads. We could use these heads if we decided to take them off clean them up and do a valve job and stuff like that, skim coat them to deck them down. I know I'm talking in lingo terms here, but we probably could use these. But these are 317 heads, and 317 is the casting number. It's right here on the LS engines, 317. These have a big chamber. When I say that, I mean combustion chamber that's inside here where the piston goes into. We don't want a big combustion chamber for what we're doing. We're putting it in this old truck back there. And this truck is going to be naturally aspirated. We just want to make a little bit of power. It's just going to be kind of like a beach truck. And, you know, I just want that thing to get down the road a little bit faster than she would normally. Disregard this. Disregard. Don't look at the mess. Stop looking. I know you're still looking. Stop looking, I said. Okay. So, let's get this up on the engine stand with my broken engine hoist. Might actually have to run out and get a cylinder for that. We'll get that up on the engine stand, and then we could start pulling this apart, see how bad it is. All right, here's today's setup. Got our engine up on a stand. It is rickety at best, which is good because the dog's walking right underneath it. Get out of there. Yeah. And here's our workbench, which is a rotten piece of wood on a couple of workhorses. Or sawhorses. Well, they're like workhorses to me. If you're wondering why we're not working, you know, in the big old garage, I'm the only one laughing. It's because I have the race car with interior parts from a car that's over there, and in other stuff, and there's too much stuff in here. So we ain't getting in there. First things first, we're gonna see if this thing turns. And I'm gonna bet you it doesn't. Okay. That's not turning, guys. This is a big breaker bar. And it's not moving at all. Okay. Just as I thought. Got to take some stuff apart now. Alright, we're going to get some of the accessories off this thing. So, let's start with this water pump. That's good. I just took this right off the charger. Ooh, free bolt. Alright, water pump spins. I don't know if that was just a little bit of surface rust. This might be okay. I mean, for an extra $100, we're not going to use it. We'll throw it over there for now. Let's get this power steering pump bracket off of here. Okay. There's 70 pounds of junk come right off this thing. I gotta be honest, that was a whole lot more locked up than I thought it was gonna be also. I know that sounds weird. Locked up's locked up, right? But, you know, I thought we were gonna maybe be able to get it to move. That didn't move at all, though. Alright. First glance doesn't look that bad in here. Really not like a lot of water intrusion in here. I don't even see like condensation. Sometimes you get like a little bit of milk shaking. You know, not like the type that brings the boys to the yard, but you know, a little mist. Put that on the floor. If you guys are doing this stuff at home, while you're pulling these things apart like this, now is the time you guys should be making like a little list of what you need. You know, you start noticing stuff. Something I noticed is I need a dowel pin in the transmission, or in the bell housing, the mating flange for the bell housing on the back of the engine. Didn't know that before. I know it now. Also, one of the bolts down there, it's like somebody tried to thread in a boulder into it and it's all ruined. Nothing in here really either, guys. And I don't see anything standing out at me here. Little water intrusion here. Let me get you in here. Look, you see that like rust down there? That's no good. The rest of them look okay. The oil passages aren't blocked up. I don't know. Looks okay to me. This side looks a little bit drier up here. But none of these valves have that crusty look on them. Let's pull off all the rocker arms and then see if we can turn it, because we already know a bunch of these valves are going to be stuck. If we can pull the rockers off, you know, then we're not working against, you know, a stuck valve that doesn't want to move. Also, one thing I'm noticing is these are hydraulic, obviously, or hydraulic lifters underneath these. Well, they would be underneath here, and they're all, I mean, this engine's been sitting here for a while, and I just dirtied the whole lens. They're all up, you know, in other words, none of these are lifted open right now. And if you look down the side, you can see this one's lifted open a little bit, maybe one or two down there. But basically the lift is all bled off. You can see these are all, should all be closed. Maybe a little bit of residual lift left over, but they're all pretty much closed, so you know, maybe we'll get lucky. Anyway, let's pull these off so we're not working against rusty valves and seats and all this other stuff, and then we'll see if we can turn it. Alright, I hate this engine, so I'm going to beat it with a hammer. Okay, only part of that is true. I am going to beat it with the hammer. I don't hate it. Not yet. What I'm doing with the hammer here is, if you're an engine builder and you know what I'm about to do, and you're mad at me because it's a metal hammer, it's a big sledge pretty much, you know, fine. I do this because I really enjoy it. It's challenging to me. I know that a lot of you guys and other guys, you know, engine builders, probably could do this in your sleep, but to me it's fun, it's challenging, I enjoy doing it. We're not working with a full deck here, people. You know, we don't have 52 cards. Pretty much what we did is we got the deck of cards and we took all the regular cards out and we just got a bunch of jokers left. So anyway, you can take this hammer. I'm going to hit each one of the valves. That's a little bit stuck. That's a little bit stuck. So what you can do is, you can't do it because there's no feel-o-vision, would it be? You can't feel what I'm doing, but I'm hitting the top of each one of these valves and seeing, you know, does it feel springy? And if I practice this enough, I can join the Blue Man group. That feels kind of sticky. So does that. That feels sticky too. See how that sounds different? That sounds metallic-y. That almost sounds like it's just not, I don't know, not moving. I don't know how to describe it. I'm not very smart. That one too. Okay. Let's go back to trying to turn it. Okay, that didn't work at all. You know, we'll just keep going. We can do the heads next. You know, I'm already up here, so why not, right? All right, let's pull these heads off. I gotta be honest here, when I unbolted this thing wants to come off the engine, because as soon as I unbolted it, it pretty much like pushed up. Get rid of these, because these are junk. Roll them on the table, none of them really look bent. So, okay, 1, 2, 3. Ooh, not bad. Not bad. I'm going to show you. Let me put this garbage on the floor. I think when we may have gotten lucky with the other side. Let's just see if we're lucky again. Which one? Which one is it? Which one are you? Which one? Who's holding us? Oh, this is no good. I don't think we got lucky on this one. Oh boy. All right. Well, let's start with this side. Yeah, it's dusty, but I mean, look, I just wiped that all off. Even that's really just like wet grease. Good. This is definitely stuck, but not so bad. I could see like water inside there. All right. What is that? I don't know what that is. We're going to start. Even that's not bad. I mean, this piston is definitely stuck to the cylinder wall, but this I bet would hone out. Honestly, I know that sounds silly, but let's do a little scraping. I don't know what that is. Honestly though, it's kind of coming off. I don't know what it is. Looks like cheese doodles, like half digested. Might be asking, what the heck am I doing right now? And the answer to that is sort of, I don't know. Well, definitely, I don't know. But what I'm trying to do is free up the rust. I am denting the balls off of these things. Trying to free up the rust a little bit so I can see if I can turn it. Oh, it turned! It's turning! Look at this! Ooh, that is not bad. Guys. It's like it really was like the piston. Which, I mean, I'm not happy about that, but the block is okay, I think. Look. Let's bring this one down. This is the other one that was concerning. Let's bring that one down in its bore and look at the bore on that. Yeah, that'll hone out. Guys, I'm gonna, I mean, you see what I'm doing here? See what I'm doing? This is okay. This block is gonna be okay. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna have to, I'm just gonna have to go to the machine shop. We might have to put a set of pistons in it. Well, I think we should definitely put a set of pistons in it. Now, the question is, do we just hone it and make it nice? Or do I just go 30 over with it? Just put in have it honed and, redone. I think that might be the way to go. But I don't know. Let's see. We've got to feel it out here. This is all not going to be in one video, so, you know, you guys just comment below what you think I should do. Should I just hone it and re-ring this thing, or, you know, since I smashed that piston with the hammer, should I, you know, put a new set of pistons in it? Alright, so I went to pull out the lifters, you know, and on these you just turn the engine over like 720 degrees through 2 revolutions, so everything goes to top dead center through its range, and then you just pull the trays out, right? Yeah. Well, why does it look like I just have a bunch of empty sacks from White Castle? Just a bunch of burger sacks, empty. Nothing is more disappointing. Not than the lifters. Forget the lifter. Who cares? But empty burger sacks. So now we got to dig all those out. So when you pull these out, you want to just check the wheels, just to see that they still spin freely. You know, any excessive wear on the body of this thing. Yeah, you got to inspect the body. That one's good. All right, that's all the lifters. Let's get this lifter tray off. The knock sensors are still in here, so those got to come out first before I can pull this out. Well, you guys remember earlier when I said that engine building was fun? Currently, I am chiseling out the rear knock sensor. Fun, huh? Engine building's fun. Why would you say that? We have good news and bad news at this point in our juncture. The good news is I got it out. The bad news is I also removed block. All right, we're gonna pull off the oil pan. We're gonna pull off the oil pan from underneath so that I don't turn over the engine and whatever else is in there. You know, gets all in my stuff. You know, at least everything's going down right now. We are gonna save the oil pan though, because it's a truck pan and probably gonna need it for our truck. Alright, there's not a lot of water down here in the pan. Looks good. I don't see any witness marks of anything hitting, which is extra special good. Quick removal. A lot of slop. I mean, this thing had mileage on it, obviously. Not so bad. Don't forget your pickup tube. Through the magic of editing, it's going to appear that I didn't forget. And we'll just leave it at that. Alright. Pull this off. A little timing set here. It'd be cool to make a clock out of that or something. I'm going to put these bolts back in here for now, because I don't have the kind of memory to remember where all these go, so I'm going to start putting them back so I know where they actually belong. But first I'm going to drop them all in the dirt. Let's get this cam out now. Alright, not bad. At a quick glance, all the lobes seem to be okay. I don't have any flat lobes. I don't know, this looks like it's in decent shape. It felt like a bearing was hanging up there, but that might have just been one of the lobes caught on something. Winch tray's off. Rear mainsail is off. And right now I'm just kind of looking for like a little bit of bluing or discoloration on each one of the rod journals, and I don't see any of it. So this thing was probably in pretty decent shape. I can see cross hatching on this is one of our cylinders that had an issue, and I could see cross hatching down there. I don't know if you can make it on camera. Alright, let's get the mains and rods out. Well, we'll do the rods, then we'll do the mains, and then we'll have a bare block that we can take a look at. Got my trusty marking utensil. I'm going to mark each one of the cylinders, the pistons and rod assemblies, with their number. So, you know, 2, 4, 6, 8, 1, 3, 5, 7, and I'm going to put an arrow pointing forward so that I know, you know, where it goes. That way I don't have to worry about remembering where the chamfer on the rod goes or whatever. So let's do that now, and then we'll flip it upside down, pull the rods out, and then pull the crank out. All right, got everything numbered. I'm going to pull out the cap screws here on the rod, on each one. I'm actually going to do this one too since it's right here. Look at these bearings. Honestly, it's like brand new. Really not even much of a ridge. This bearing's in good shape too. All right, me and my little chunky man, we're gonna get the rest of these out, and then I'll give you guys a look. All right, we got all the rods out. I'll show you guys that in a minute. Let's get the crank out, and then we'll go through an overview of our parts. Show you what you know, I was looking for at least. Alright, we got all the mains off. What I did is I grabbed a numbered punch, a set of numbered punches. You can't, you can see it. There's numbers and letters and stuff. And I punched numbers in them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I used the letter V. It looks just like an arrow, you know?
No, Daddy!
Whoa.
Look, I just came up out on grass.
Ozzy, our wild animal cat, just came out of the garage, just so you guys know. So I used the letter V as an arrow, and I punched just to show me where forward was so that the main caps don't end up, you know, backwards. Crank is ready to come out. Worth mentioning, when you're doing these, there's 2 different reluctor wheel counts on the teeth for the crank position sensor. This is a 24. Let's pull the crank out, and then we'll take a look at the block and all the parts.
I see the problem. Something's broken.
You see the problem? Something's broken? You're right. Something is broken. Well, there you have it, guys. He found the problem. Something's broken. All right, here's all of our main bearings. They actually all look pretty good. None of them really have any crazy wear on them.
I see
The biggest wear that I see, actually, and you probably can't see it on camera, is that all the cam bearings are like coked.
I see problem.
What do you see?
I see something's broken.
What is it? What's broken?
This.
Yeah, okay. Nah, I got oil all over your hand now, chunk. Mommy's gonna kill me. Yeah, the cam bearings all down there are all coked up, which basically is when, you know, you don't keep up with oil changes, or when the oil gets very hot and then kind of sits on a part and kind of like cooks onto the bearing. Happens a lot with turbos, but it can happen with regular bearings too. So the block looks okay. We got to get some of this flaky rust and stuff off the side, but that'll be another time. Crank looks really good also. Only issue is between the rods, we have this kind of line of like rust that will, you know, we can get rid of that no problem. So that's not a big deal. One thing I do want to show you is I took apart all of the rods, and I had an issue with kind of like 4 of them. 4 of them came out. I'll be honest, the bearings look good on every one of them. Every one of them, the bearings look good. So it's really not a bearing issue. These LS engines are absolutely unbeatable. So this thing's actually in really good shape. What I will say is, when you look at these things, you pull them apart, you look for a couple of things. One is obviously, you can see that those rings are not doing anything. There's 0 ring tension on these. The oil ring is no good, so it would have been burning oil. I mean, it's been sitting and it was out of the car, obviously. It was taken out for a reason, but this would have been burning oil, and it would have had almost like no compression because these rings are just, they're cooked in there. If you were able to get this thing running, would it maybe heat up and burn some of that stuff out of there? And maybe, But once you lose the spring tension in the rings like that, they're kind of dead in the water. The other thing that a lot of people skip over or don't really pay attention to, but it's important, is how stiff. This really should just be falling over like that. And it's not. You can see how stiff that is. And it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be free moving on the wrist pin in there. So that's a problem. So I have a couple of those that are like that. 4 to be exact, actually. Also, one of them, we must have done this new damage when we were taking this apart, because you could see I was hammering it here, you know. And again, you don't really want to do this. This is mongoloid stuff, but anyway, I was pushing these out with a screwdriver and a hammer, as a lot of you guys might. But this damage here, I wasn't hitting there. You could see where I was hitting. It was here. You know, you want to try to get on the meat, you know, of where the pin is when you're doing mongoloid stuff. But this probably broke when we got the engine free. This was probably jammed up in something, and it was just such a thin spot anyway, it probably just broke. So we can't use that because now the oil retention ring is flapping in the breeze there. So that's no good. All right, so now we're at a crossroads here. What do we do? We're using the block. The block's good, we know that. I was afraid that it might not be, but it is. The crank is good. That's going to take a little bit of a home polish job. I'll show you that when we put it together. We're keeping that. The heads we knew we weren't going to use anyway, because they're just not really good for the type of build we're going to do. We're at a dilemma here with the lower end rotating assembly, rods and pistons. You guys tell me what you think. Tell me down in the comments what you think we should do. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video and you want to see more of this project and where we go with it, and you want to see me eventually drop it in this truck and drive it around and enjoy it, stay tuned. You know, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, if you got any ideas for this build, drop it down there in a comment. As always, thank you guys for checking in. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time.